Welcome everyone. We'll begin exactly in 3 minutes time. Aishat, can you hear me?
Good evening. Good evening, boss. Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening. All right, we'll begin in 2 minutes time. And recording is in progress. It's being recorded already. All right, it's only 1 minute. Okay, it's time to begin. So today's topic is lower time frame confirmation based on our SRP model. So what do you do when you've already marked your structure, RBS or SBL has happened and price has come to your POI and you want to enter with confirmation? So I'm going to share my screen so that we can get started. Share my screen. Okay. So can you see my screen? All right. Can you see my screen? Aishat, can you hear me? Can you see my screen? Can you hear me?
Yes, and we can see the screen.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so lower time frame confirmation. So let's look at this trade, this particular trade that played out in EU. So first of all, you have this sweep, and then price broke this low, giving us an SBR. And you mark your range, waiting for price to pull back. So this was the low. Because sometimes price may pull back, it may come to 0.6 and it may go up to even 0.85. So you want to know the exact place where the pullback will happen. So let me mark this place with a rectangle and then we'll go to, so the lower time frame confirmation happens in 15 minutes. Lower time frame confirmation happens in 15 minutes. So let's go to 15 minutes. This was on Tuesday this week. So this was where I marked. So what you're looking for is also an SBR in 15 minutes time frame. You're looking for an SBR in 15 minutes time frame. You want price to come to the POI and close below the low in 15 minutes, and then you can enter the trade. You want price to come to, so you could see when it first came here, and don't trade reversal, let it confirm. You can enter continuation. So when it first came here, it closed below the low, And your SL can let your SL still be the 4-hour SL. It closed below the low, but did not close above here with the body of a candle. So even if you are to use, this was the first reversal that happened that shows you, okay, this is actually where price is reversal. So this one did 100% retracement. But even if you don't want to use this one, look at the next one that happened. So when price did this, it closed below this low. So you can mark this low. It closed below this low, you mark the range. So if I mark the range, you now wait for price to come. Price must come to at least 0.5 or from 0.5 and above on the sell. For the buy, it should go below 0.5. Below 0.5. So here it touched 0.7 and started selling. So once you mark your range, once price has confirmed SBR also, because you want price to change character, you want market to change character to say that, okay, from bullish to bearish, to say even on the lower time frame. Now, because market was buying to your POI, and you are now, you know that when it comes to the POI, it will sell. You want to confirm that sell on lower time frame. And you don't want price to leave you by the time you finish doing the confirmation. So you do it on 15 minutes. So it broke this low. First of all, it broke this low. And if you use 100%, if your SL is still at that down, it's still okay. You broke this low. And then this was where the actual reversal started. It broke this low. So you can call it change of character. So it did change your character and picked order at 0.7. This is where you enter. So from 0.5 to 0.6, 0.7, but your SH should be at the high of the range of the 4 hours. So price has confirmed sell on the lower time frame. So you've gotten your lower time frame confirmation here. And then you enter and you still target the low of the 4 hours. And your first TP is the 50% of the range. Some people just target maybe the 50% low. If you are targeting 50% low, this is a low. If you're targeting the 4-hour range, you go to 4 hour and you target the 50, you target the 4-hour listing. So you will see that was what he did. And he kept giving entries. He broke this low, came here to this fair value gap. First of all, he broke this low, came to this place and gave entry. Broke this low. If you use this range, broke this low, came to this fair value gap. He's been giving entry since then. Range for some days and continue to give entry. Continue to give entry. Let's go to the trade we took on USD JPY. So USD JPY, which has gone to full TP. This was our low. So we looked at USD JPY, yes. USD JPY broke. This was the low, the initial low. Yes, this was the low. It broke this structure. So when it did RBS here, you allowed the range to complete. You allowed the range to complete. And this was the high of the range. So you mark the Fibonacci. So, and the beautiful thing about this is where we're expecting the POI, there's a fair value gap there. And so you know that this is your POI. So you mark it. So let me mark this with rectangle. So for the lower time frame confirmation, let me go to what we are expecting is the same pattern, the same logic, the same context on the lower time frame on 15 minutes. We want to see an RBS on 15 minutes. We want price to do change of character on 15 minutes and tell us that it's buying. So before you enter, because price just kept selling. You could see here, instead of doing bullish change of character, I did bearish change of character, I picked order and still sold more. But when it started buying, when the actual buyer started, look at what happened. So price came here and formed a range and did the engulfing, came here and picked order. Formed a big range, he did a sweep, formed a big range, came here. So let me mark this. But if you came here and picked order, but if you don't want to mark that big range, you want to mark a small range. You just want price to do a close above. You want price to close above, do RBS, a simple RBS, close above and pick order. So look at this, it did a sweep, closed above. So you mark it. It should be at least 0.5. It should come to at least 0.5. So let's see. So this is the high of the range. It touched 0.5 exactly. It touched 0.5. So when it touched this is where you enter. When it touched 0.5, this is where you enter. And you put your stop loss at the low of the 4 hours. So this is the first time it was actually doing, that reasonable engulfing. RBS. This is the first time, and then it came back to pick your order. So this is how you confirm. And this pair gave a lot of entries. Even with the some don't do that. Even with the higher range, if you mark the higher range, you will see what it did. This pair like to mitigate everywhere. Even with the higher range, it still came here to give you an entry. It still came back again to give entry. And it kept doing that. It came here too. It broke above all this resistance. So, and this is the high of the range. It came to 0.6 again, gave another entry here. This is for people who want to stack. It came here, gave another entry. And, since then it's been buying. The one that I really like, let me come to V75. Do we call the trade? I was actually expecting price to come up, but this confirmation will actually help everyone not to miss any trade and to know exactly where the reversal will happen. What people like about this pair is that it can stay in one trend for months. It's been on a bearish trend since April this year, on a bearish trend, just giving massive good setups. And it's the cheapest pair on synthetics. The lowest lot size on this pair is 0.001. So people even trade this pair with $1, $2, $3. So for people that don't have capital, if your structure is correct, you can trade this pair. You could see since April, this was when the sale started. It's been bearish. It's been bearish. This 24 hours. It's been bearish. It's been selling. Look at it. It's been selling. Breaking lows, selling. So, but let's come to where we are. The one we call. Can you still hear me? Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
All right. So this is our April setup, the one we called. So it did a sweep here. And then it broke this low. SBR. And then you wait for the range to fully form so that you can mark it. So when the range finish forming, you mark the range. And you wait for price. So this is the POI. So let me get the rectangle. You wait for, so from 0.6 to 0.7, that's the POI, our POI. We're waiting for price to come back to that POI. And you want to, so this is where you want to know whether, because I was actually expecting it to come here. With this lower time frame confirmation, price will confirm whether it will go up or whether it has started selling. So let me now remove this. So when it came to 0.6, this was actually where the sell started. And let me go to 15 minutes so that we can confirm it. So we are looking for the same pattern, the same SBR on 15 minutes for sell. That's the confirmation. And you still want price to come to your POI on that 15 minutes after confirming that it's selling. So what did it do? When it came to that 0.6, it was doing higher high, higher high. It came to 0.6, it couldn't do higher high again. This is the first reversal, the first massive reversal, because finally it broke this low. It broke this low. So you want to stay confirmed that, because after higher high, you could see price was doing higher high. You want to confirm that price will no longer do any higher high, that it will not take this high. This one, the next high will not take out this high. This one came and did not take out this high. Instead, it broke the low. It broke the low. And when it broke the low, you mark it. So it did an SBR here. It broke this low. So you can even say this one was broken. If all these lows were broken, you mark it. So, and it formed the full range on 15 minutes. So what do? You mark the range with your Fibonacci. And it gave you the same setup on 4 hours in 15 minutes with a sweep and everything. So you want price to come to at least, every pullback must get to at least 50%, which is 0.5. Every pullback, any pullback that does not get to 0.5 is incomplete. But we don't even want a pullback at 0.5. On this 25, 0.5 is okay. In lower time frame confirmation, 0.5 is okay. So 0.5 and above. Here I got to 0.6, still got to the same 0.6. So the moment it gets to 0.5, just be observing the candle to know where it will close. The moment where it closes, you enter. It has gotten to 0.5. Where it closes, you enter. Because it has broken below the low. Now it has come to your POI. So it came to 0.6. This is where you now enter. And your stop loss should not be here. Your stop loss should still be at the high of the 4-hour range. If you want to target the 15 minutes low, you can do that. Or you still target the 50% of the 4-hour range, which is your first TP, and then the high of the 4-hour range. So this was what it did. And since then, for people that want to stack, it started giving the same, it started giving us the same SRP model in everything it was doing. So even here too, it broke this low. Here I did a sweep, broke this low. So if you mark it, it came to 0.6 again, picked order. Here too, it broke the low. It didn't do a sweep, but it broke the low. So it has not confirmed selling. It has started selling. This is how you enter. Maybe you want to enter another position. This is how you do it. You still use the same model to enter. It broke this low, came back to the POI, picked order. And that is what it has been doing. Look at this full range now. So if I want to mark this range from here to here, so I've marked this range. Let's say you mark this range, you still wait for price to come to 0.6. The moment it came to 0.6, you enter. And then it came, it's not good to enter, be doing that continuation trade, because your stop loss will be far. The stop loss is still the 4-hour. So it's actually the first time you did it that you enter, when it has confirmed the sell. When it has confirmed the sell, here it failed to do another higher high. When it has confirmed the sell, you enter. That's it. When it has confirmed the sell. So here, this was when it failed to do, it did higher high here. This was when it failed to do higher high. And this is inducement. He cleared this inducement here. He cleared all this inducement. Couldn't take out this high. Broke the low here. And then you just come here. And so, which means for lower time frame confirmation, when price comes to your POI, you have to be looking at the close of 15 minutes candles. You have to be observing the chart closely to see what price is doing. And when you get what you're looking for, you enter the trade. So as long as price is still doing higher, 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 you just leave it, and it has not come to your POI. Once it comes to the POI, let's say it got to the POI and he kept buying, you know that okay, probably it may reverse at 0.7 or maybe even 0.8. When it does it is when you enter. So let's come to gold. So 4 hours. First of all, this was what gold did last week. So if we mark this range and this range, you want to know where gold will sell from. So for gold broke this low, you could see it broke all the lows here. It broke all the lows here, which means that is a massive sell. So when you mark the range, I say that gold normally retraces at 0. And this is also why we said that you should not target full TP. You should not be targeting full TP. Even for gold, if price gives you 1:3, 1:2, you come out because you see that gold sold and then today it started buying. But let's focus on where it sold from and what it gave us where it sold from. So let me mark the rectangle there. You want to confirm the sell on 15 minutes time frame because gold is very expensive and your stop loss now is very high. So it sold, this was on Tuesday. So this is it. So the same, this one, this is for sell. So we're looking for SBR on gold. We're looking for SBR on gold. So it came here, it kept doing higher high. It came here, it kept doing higher high. It came, the moment it came to that 0.7, what did it do? It broke the lows. It broke all these lows. Kept breaking it here. So let me expand that candle. So here, that is change of character. It broke all those lows. Even here, it just kept breaking the lows. And after doing that, you mark your range, your full range. And that range is from here to here, basically. So if I mark it, or let me mark from here to here. Okay, let me mark, okay, this is the range. That's the full range. This was the lowest it went to before it pulled back. So from here to here, the moment price comes to 0.6, from 0.5, 0.6, you enter. For gold, since gold is BR, if you don't want to extend your stop loss too much, and gold is very expensive, you can put your stop loss at the high of this. It's almost the same thing with the 4 hours. At the high of this, this range. This has already reduced your stop loss because you are entering exactly where gold is showing reversal. And since then, gold has been giving us this exact same thing. Let me mark this full range and let's see what gold did here. Okay, even here. So let's say you missed that one, you want to enter another one, you mark from here. So here, gold broke these lows again. Gold broke these lows again, giving us SBR on 15 minutes. So if you mark the high of the range to the low of the range, what do we see? And this is 15 minutes. We already know that gold is selling. It came to that same 0.7. And, this is where you enter. And target the low of that range. Of course, from 44 to, 4442, that is massive on gold. That is massive. You come out. You come out. So gold, so that was what gold did. And it kept giving even sell entries before today. Now that that the news has, now that we've seen the news, you can see what gold is doing. Gold wants to break the high. Now, gold has given us the perfect setup. So let me mark this. So it started with a buy sweep, liquidity grab. It did RBS here. So if you mark the range, and it has, I think the range has finished. So we'll be expecting a POI here. That is, we're expecting the gold to sell to this zone and then buy. But now when gold comes to this zone, you now go to 15 minutes to confirm RBS on 15 minutes, mark the range and wait for price to come back to your POI. And so that's what we do. That's how you do it. And then the last example is this 25, which is this 25 even did RBS and is coming to pick a sell order around here. Did that, it broke all these lows, so it should sell. But let's look at when it bought and why it bought. So here it did a sweep. So let's mark this. Okay, let's use this, the one that meets our criteria. It did a bullish sweep here and close above here. Close above here. Did RBS here. And you want to know the full range. And this was when he gave us the full range. So if you mark it, so when you mark it, you mark 0.6 to 0.7 to know where the retracement will happen. To know where the retracement, okay. To know where the, okay, this is actually the, wait, this is sweep. This is where I did the sweep and then the break, yes. So the sweep and the break, yes. So you mark it. This one was another setup it did, but it did not break above. I didn't really see any break above. Maybe it's a tiny one. It broke this one. So it did a sweep here. It broke above this range, and it came to 0.6. So you mark your POI where you're expecting the buy to come from. So if I now remove these other ones, you go to 15 minutes time frame. We are going to 15 minutes time frame to know when price will give us the same setup on 15 minutes and then come back to our POI so that we can enter the buy. So this was on 4th January. So let me go to 15 minutes. So when price came here, what did it do? This was when price came here. So you want to know when the sell has actually stopped so that you don't make mistake. You want the same setup on 15 minutes. It broke all these lows, all these highs. It broke it and formed the full range, even on the 15 minutes. So there is a bigger range and a smaller range. So it depends on the one you want to take. So here, and the range was still forming, it broke all of this. And did RBS here. So if you mark this full range, you wait for price to come back to your POI. And it came to 0.7, and this was when it got to TP. But if you want to mark the smaller one, the smaller RBS that just happened, the one that happened faster and shows you that price is actually buying. So when it kept selling, you could see here it broke lows, it broke low and did a bearish SBR, the bearish only broke the low, picked order here. So it was still selling. Now this was when it came to our POI. So what did he do here? You want price to break above the red candle. This was when it broke above. He did a small sweep here, broke above the red candle, and this was the high of the range. So So when it has given you the high of the range, you're now waiting for price to come to your POI. And what did price do? It came to 0.6. So from 0.5 and below for buy, for sell from 0.5 and above, it came to 0. So the moment it comes back to this POI, that's where you enter. And you target, you target the 50% range, or you get 1:3. Like I said, if you're always targeting full TP, price may reverse against you. If you're always targeting full TP, price may reverse. You will see that it gave 1:3, came here, and then later it started selling. Did not really even give full TP. It didn't come to this high to give full TP. It gave 1:2, 1:3. That's the best. And you come out. Or you can target the high of the, okay, you can target this high, you come out, which he gave. Because later it came, it retraced. So that is it. And when it retraced, when it retraced again, even in the small range, what did it do? So even here, it broke above, came here, picked order, and came to this high. So basically, so let's look at this 10. I don't really like that pair, but let's look at it. This 10, buy, it will buy, it will sell, it will buy, it will sell, but it's selling naturally. So on 4 hours, yes, on 4 hours, we want to know when this 10 has confirmed sell, and this was when it confirmed sell on 4 hours, when it broke all these lows, and it kept breaking, and it started with a sweep, and we want to know when the full range has formed. So this 10, you can see what this 10 did. So this was when the full range formed, and it came to 0.6, right? Did I mark this correctly? It came to 0.6. Let me see.
No, you didn't mark it correctly because I took this trade.
Let me
The
see.
low is the first low, not the last one.
Let me
It was
mark
the one.
it.
This one that has red and green candle.
Let me mark it. I want to. Yes, I marked it correctly then. Yes, I marked it. Mm-hmm. I marked it correctly. Uh-huh. This row. Yes, it came to 0.6. Yes, it came to 0.6. It came to 0.6. And in that 0.6, you want to confirm that it will actually sell, because this pair can be crazy when it comes to your POI. So these are POI. It can be crazy. You want to confirm that. And this is also why I said sometimes price doesn't give it full TP. It just hold the ratio and it's just ranging there. It should sell. It should sell to this low, but it's just ranging there. But let's go to 15 minutes. So let me remove this. So if we go to 15 minutes, this was on, okay, it happened twice even. So let's look at this. This was on 7th January. So 7th January, price came. You want the higher high and the higher low to confirm that it has actually stopped. The first time it broke all these lows. So even if you mark with this range and put your stop loss at the 4-hour high, or a little bit, so it broke all these lows here. So let's mark, and it didn't break it again with the body of a candle. This one is a 100% retracement. It broke all these lows here and came to that high, and that was where I picked order. That was, like I said, from 0.5 and above, it came to the high and picked order. Now, this particular one too, if you mark this, it broke all the lows here, came to the high and picked order. If you now want to mark this full range, maybe you want to mark this full range. So let's look at that full range. From here to here, did it touch 0.5? It touched 0.5. It touched 0.5 and picked order and sold. You can just picked order and sold. You can just focus on 1:1, 1:2, because this price can be crazy. He later bought again. And here, what did he do here? When he bought, he came back to that zone again. So let's mark what he did here. He broke all these lows and gave us the same SBR. The moment he broke all the lows, you mark the range. You want price to come to at least 0.5, 0.6. He came here, and this is where you enter the sell and you sell. If you want to take the risk, you put your stop. You say put your stop loss, give it 100 pips above this stop loss, and then you target 1:2, 1:3. And this was where he sold massively, and now he's ranging. He's ranging. So let's look at this 100. This 100 has actually been buying. So I think the best thing to do on this pair is to buy. It's been buying. So if we look at 24 hours, that longer range favored it the more. So if we mark from this range, from this low to this high, it came exactly to 0.6 and picked order. And if we go to 4 hours, that's what we'll see. Picked order. So, but let's come down to 4 hours and mark from here to here. And use one of the. So let's use this. So it did a sweep. Even though this is like a B setup here to here, but you want to still confirm. That's why if you have a B setup and you want extra confirmation, you go to lower time frame. So he did this. He broke all these highs, and then you want price to come back to the POI and give us a buy confirmation. And this is from 0.6 to 0.7, because there's always fair value gap resting there, and you can see this massive fair value gap there that price needs to mitigate. There's always imbalance. Price moves from imbalance. It's not just that it comes to a particular number, 0.6. No, there's always imbalance there. So let me remove this Fibonacci and let's go to this place. This is on 31st December. So what we are looking for is for price to give us a buy confirmation, the same setup for the buy. So when price came here, so you could see it was selling, 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 selling. This is not a POI, so you just leave it. But when it came here, what did he do? So let me remove this. This was where he closed above. This was where he closed above. He closed above here, above this high. So you mark this range. He closed above, picked order here. It came to 0.7, and finally later even came to the last 100% retracement, but did not break it with a body. And so even if you have entered here and your stop loss is below the 4-hour range, you will still be, the price will not take you out. And since then it started. So this was where I did change of character. And since then it started buying. And if you don't want, because the first reversal can be risky. This was the first time he did it will buy. The second time he did it will buy was here. It broke above, closed above again, this high. So if you mark this too, because sometimes it's better to enter to just be sure. So it did not, so it was doing lower, lower, low, lower, low. Here, it did not break this low. Came again, it did not break this low. So if you mark from this range to this one, also, what the price do came to almost 100%, and that was where I picked order. And if you have also entered here, you will still not be in a loss. You came here, picked order, and it's not far because this is 15 minutes. So, and since then, it's been buying. Since then, it's been buying. Since then, it's been buying. Same thing. He did the same thing that he did here. He didn't really do a sweep here. So you want to confirm that market will actually buy. He broke above all these ones. This one touched exactly 0.7. So let's mark our POI as 0.6 to 0.7. Let me remove this. And this was on 2nd January. All right, one price to confirm to us that it will buy. So this is the zone. So what did price do? Came to this low, closed above. So let's even use this range and see. Okay, it came to this low. We'll mark this range. This is a longer range. Like the pullback must get to 0.5. So here I touched 0.5 and started buying. Here it was forming a longer range. Formed a longer range, touched 0.5 and started buying. And I think I like those longer ranges. So because it will help you to avoid all this confusion, all these ranges. And this pair does it a lot. Let the buy fully stop, so that you know where the buy has stopped, and then you can then mark it and wait for your entry. Because even here, you can see here it did a break above and took it out and all of that. Did before it finally did here. So you can allow the range to fully form, and then you mark it, and price often later comes back to that range. If it doesn't come back, you leave it. You leave it. And since then it's been buying. Now it has broken above this high, broke above this high, and even mitigated it. So let's see if it did it's just that it will still come back. It didn't do full pullback. So it is going to come back. It's been buying massively. It has broken above all these highs. So it will need to come around, if you now mark a range, you see where it will come to pick order, and you can mark it for yourself. So let's look at Euro USD. Euro USD is selling, and people that have been trying to buy because they saw something like this are forgetting that if we go to Euro USD, I want to go to okay, trading view. Yes, because market will soon close. So let's even look at what is happening in Euro USD. Euro USD is doing something. So let me remove this. Something that many people don't even on that. So my bias on Euro USD has changed. You don't have to marry a bias. You have to observe what market is doing. You have to observe what market is doing. This week wants to close bearish, and this is the first time that a weekly candle will close massively bearish like this. It's giving us our setup on the weekly time frame. So why would anybody buy the pair? And you could see the other block it targeted, the fair value gap it targeted, the one here, a weekly fair value gap that is targeted. So it's going to go up around here, pick order, and then sell further. And probably even, and as long as it doesn't close on daily and give us RBS on daily, we should not buy the pair. We shouldn't buy it. Any buy is a pullback because now it closed below all these weeks and dumped. It's like all the pairs against dollar, trading against dollar are bearish now. Are bearish. Trump is doing everything he can to make sure that dollar is strong so that he can win the midterm election, which is in November. So look at our setup that is even playing out. And that's what I will focus on for next week. First of all, the one that played out here, price did a sweep. This here, price did a sweep, did a break, came here and picked up. And this one, it did this sweep. So let's look at that one. It did this sweep, came here and picked order and sold. Now it has done another sweep. And did a break here. So if you mark it to the low that it has formed, or I've said if it comes to 0.6 to look for entry, but then if you notice that there is a massive fair value gap above your POI, know that price will likely come to that POI because that is liquidity and price is always looking for liquidity. And this is why sometimes price will extend to 0.7. So in that 0.7, there's an AVG. That's why I said you use this Nefusam Nefusam indicator. There's a video on how to set it. There's a fair value gap here and price will come. So if it comes here, we'll go to 15 minutes to still confirm the sell. Then before we enter the trade, and your stop loss can just be approved here. The stop loss can just be approved here. Then the last one I want to look at is GBP, JPY, GBP, JPY. Let's look at. So he did this sweep. He used this as a inducement. He did a sweep here. Did a break of structure here. RBS. And this is even why what is called breaker block, why some people call breaker block, but not in that way, because breaker block, some people are waiting for a test, for you to retest here. And it did, he bought briefly, but this is not. So let's mark this. So this is sweep. And this is the full range. And he kept selling, kept selling, kept selling. Came to almost 100%. So, and this is where our POI started, 0.6 to here. So let me mark here. Let's see what he did there. So if you're looking for lower time frame confirmation, you go down to 15 minutes. However, even if you enter at 0.6 and your stop loss is below the low, you don't have an issue. So here, you won't have, here it broke this low, and kept selling, broke this low and kept selling. You want where it will actually break a high. And I prefer when the full range forms on 15 minutes. I don't just want something like this. So look at the same thing we saw on V75. From here, from this range to this range, this is what I prefer. So when price came to this full range, It came exactly to 0.6 and retested. And that was where it started buying. That was where the buy started. Now, if you want to use the smaller range to enter buy from here, price broke above, but didn't give. So if price do not come to at least 0.5, leave it. It broke above. If you want to use this one, it didn't come to 0.5. You want to use this one, it did not come to 0.5. So let's say you use this range. So use the range when it has, when price do. If the range do not do, if it didn't come to 0.5, leave it. It means that it will later come back. It means the range has not fully formed. If you are to use this range, this was when it came to at least 0.5. It touched almost 0.6. And then you can enter here. But then it kept buying. It kept buying. So this is the complete range. So this is the complete range from here to here. And you wait for price to come to your, a POI, this zone. And then that's where the buy started. Sorry. I'm looking at USD JPY, although we are going to review this next week. USD JPY. If this candle closes, there are small range and there are bigger ranges. If this candle closes, it means that the bigger range has been activated. There's a bigger range, and I will show you. And any mitigation that happens before price closes above a range is invalid. So all this inside the range here. Let me remove this. Inside the range here, there's a range here. There's a bigger range here. It started here. So all these inside ranges, we are just moving. So let me come to daily so that I'll make sure I marked it well. This is it actually. It's a daily range, a bigger range in daily time frame. If price closes above it, it means that this big range has been activated. You should no longer buy inside the range. You should wait for price to come back. And you could see the fair value gap here. You could see the fair value gap here. So let's say that this range has formed, has been activated, and you mark your POI, let's say here. You see that the fair value gap is at 0.7. So by tomorrow, when we do the market review, we'll see if this is valid. If it goes with a body, this is where we should be expecting the buy. It means that UJ eventually will sell, come back here, pick the other. It is bullish, but we want to know where it will come back. And when it comes back here, we still want to confirm with, so you can do the confirmation on 15 minutes, 30 minutes, even 1 hour. Some people still want to do that confirmation on 4 hours with a small 4 hour range, because there was something UJ did here. So if we come to, so this is the full range. If the candle closes, it will validate the range. You see where it started. But inside it, you have small ranges. So you need to know where you have the internal range and the external range. These are the ones that are playing out on the lower time frame. This is the higher time frame on. And the moment price breaks the high of that range, the low of that range will now become the main low. And so anything you are doing, you should not trade inside the range. You should make sure that your trade is in line with what is happening. But this was the range we traded. This was the range from here to here. This was when price broke above it. Okay, this is the one that price will take come back to. This was the range we traded. We traded from here. So price broke above here. This was the low. So you mark it from here, and price came to this fair value gap at the POI here. But there was something else price did here. If you are so even some people they still use 4 hours to confirm entry in that zone, maybe a small range, or they use 1 hour. So let's say we use 1 hour. 1 hour can still give you confirmation. But let some pairs will not do that. You don't need that confirmation of 4 hours. But even this pair did it. He closed above and came back and picked order. So we gave another entry. So if let's say you mark this small range here, this is a tiny range, a confirmation, lower time frame, a tiny range confirming you that price will buy. So he closed above, came back here, and picked order at 0.7. And after that, he came here too. He did a sweep, closed above. So he gave so many entries. That was why he kept, it was torturing the mind of traders. He closed above. So this is the high of the range. Came again to 0.7 and picked order. But here, that is our POI. Let's say we want to use 30 minutes or 1 hour to confirm. So you can still confirm on 30 minutes. This was on 5th January. If you want to use 30 minutes to confirm, it's the same thing. So, see, came to this low, and it's always good to use that long range, let the range, so that you can mark it correctly. So this is the low of the range, this is the high of the range. This 30 minutes confirmation. So if you mark it, see that price came to, first of all, it came to 0. The fair value gap and picked, you could enter here. Later, it came back to 0.8. So as long as it doesn't take it out, it's valid. It kept coming back here. And this is your confirmation. Already, this is the confirmation that price is buying. This is where it came back to your POI at exactly this fair value gap and picked order. And since then, it's been buying. So that is it. So it's the where you mark your range on 4 hours, and then when price comes to your POI after SBR or RBS has happened, the only time that you are allowed to now use RBS or SBR on lower time frame is when price comes to your POI. You want to see confirm that market is going your way. That is when you can now mark it on 15 minutes or 30 minutes. Some people also mark on 1 hour. Like if we go to 1 hour, that is only because if you mark, you should not mark on 1 hour in the bigger range that shows you okay, market is buying 1 hour. Anything can change in 1 hour. But 1 hour, all this lower time frame is for confirmation. So what did 1 hour do? 1 hour did the exact same thing. 1 hour broke above. So this is the low of the range. Price broke above, came back, the exact same thing, and picked order. Since then, it's been buying. And even this low became protected. So now price has inside this range, price has mitigated this one. Price closed above here and picked order here. Price closed above here, picked order here. And price has not come back since to pick order around here or probably here. But since this range, if you now look at the bigger range, if this candle closes, if this candle does not close, it means price, if you mark this range, price will come here as a pick order. But if this candle closes, it activates that bigger range. It means that all these spaces will be liquidity and the sell will happen and the buy will start from the lower. The buy will start from the lower place. So let's look at one final example. Which pair should I use? Mention a particular pair. Can you hear me? Mention a particular pair I should use. Can you hear me? All right, let me use USD chef. Let's see. So USD chef did a sweep here. Did a break? Did RBS here? So this is not uh an A plus setup. So this kind of trade you can now want to enter with extra confirmation. And you want to also find out if the candle is bullish. So it started selling and it came back to 0.8. So when it comes here, so let me remove this. And these ranges are POI. Want to know what price we do here on 15 minutes. This was on 5th January. All right, so this was when price came there. So you could already see what price did. So when price came to that low, it closed above. So if you mark your range, and this is the high of the range, if you mark your range, now this one came to 100% of the range and picked order, and it did not break it with the word of a candle. But even if you enter here and your stop loss is in a protected zone, you don't have any issue anything to worry about. And since then it's been buying. Since then it's been buying. All right, so this is it. So you mark the same setup on the lower time frame in your POI and wait for price to come back to your POI, and that is your confirmation. Does anybody have any question? Any question? Participants, two. I'm not seeing participants. Oh, I'm not seeing any other person. All right. All right. Thank you for joining us. We'll send the replay, and I hope you all got what you're looking for. All right. Thank you, everyone.